terror.
What's up YouTube, Mr. Llama SE here, and today we're going to be diving into part Nightmare of the Let's Play Diablo 2 Hydra Orb Sorceress. So this time you actually get to see a little bit more of the fun, or of the build exactly, right? Because before we were just playing a Fire Sorceress through normal. Obviously Hydra and Orb are level 30 skills, but today we're going to get into level 30, we'll respec over, and we'll start utilizing both of those. Having some fun, doing some stuff, all of that. We'll also be able to start making some more of those rune words that we were prepping for, all of this, blah, blah, blah. So get your character fired up, and let's get ready to jump in to this right here. It's not a poo train. Just remember that. So again, we have a spirit sword that we've prepped. We have a Ancient's Pledge that we're prepped, and a lore. So Ortsol, Ralort Tal, Talthol Ort Am. Those three we are waiting on getting, and this will just come down to when we get ourselves a couple more levels and when we get our character the runes, right? So we're going to be doing Nightmare Countess. Now I would say in terms of importance, there is going to be, you know, some pieces where it's like, okay, do we really need a lore helm? Not 100%. I would say like Spirit Sword is going to be more important, and something I would definitely say go for, unless you somehow find a +2, like 20 FCR, you know, weapon. Could use that. All right, I gotta. Oh, oops, this way. Well, don't do it, Murloc. So instead, we'll just, you know, go for that spirit, though, normally. So that'll be pretty important. The Ancient's Pledge, obviously, be very important. That's going to be just, like, really big resistances to help us out.
Ditch Boy gifted a tier 1 sub to Lil Murloc. They have given 104 gift subs in the channel.
That's a fantastic drop for us, because we are going to be using the FCR pieces. Getting 22 fire res right there on top of it, huge. Thank you, Ditch Boy.
Hi, Mr. Llama. Have a buck from Daddy Bezos.
Aw, thank you. Appreciate that, Wonder. Hork Distrin yesterday, nice. So, mobs are definitely, you know, going to be a little bit tankier in here. Right, now that we've gotten to Nightmare. But we will want to do this because, again, we are going to be respecking. If you didn't use your normal respec because you didn't fail it like I did, then you honestly can skip this if you would like and just go back for that respec later. You can go right to the tower. I'm going to go ahead and do this because I need that respec still. And we are burning through mana. Yeah, servers went down a little bit there.
Found my single player Enigma this week, woo.
Ooh, very nice peer review. That is very, very nice. Mana issues are always like annoying on these characters, which is why you can honestly throw more into energy. And I probably will end up putting a little bit more. You know, I don't think there's anything wrong with having like 60 energy right now. Now, of course, once we get that Spirit Sword, get all that additional mana and stuff, that'll help a lot. So that's another really beautiful part about Spirit, is you get like 100 mana. Continuous Fireball. I'll go to energy here just to get a little bit more. Need Spirit Shield as well. So a lot of people always say that. However, you have to remember Spirit Shield requires a 4 open socket shield. There's only 3 shields in the game that can get 4 open socket, and Monarch is the lowest strength requirement of all of those, which is 156 strength. Additionally, you can only find those shields in Hell. So getting a Spirit Shield can be really nice, however very difficult and not something that's easy to get early on, unlike this, you know, where you can get this spirit sword, end of normal, start of nightmare, right? If you're a paladin, however, of course you can use a paladin shield, and then you can run the dual spirit, and that is honestly one of the reasons paladins are even better right now with that.
To Viper34J.
Thanks, Rollin. Very sweet.
I can.
Rhyme is also okay.
I can.
However, the mana regen doesn't do a ton there. It's like me. I don't think it's worth all the sacking of the resistances, unless you just have amazing res from all your stuff, you know. Okay, so we can sell these. We'll get more mana potions. And we have our respec available now, which is perfect. We've also maxed out Fireball. Everything else is good, so we'll just continue into Firebolt here.
Have a prime sub.
Thanks, Caffeine. We love ourselves a couple prime subs. See if we can find the stones.
Move.
Not enough mana.
Thank you, the only death ham. And again, I am level 27, now 28. If you wanted to spend time really farming up in normal to like 35, 40, whatever it is, you totally can. This is a strong character, and you know, you can adjust that player count, go do baal runs, go do whatever, and she'll be able to really beef herself up. So always an option.
Impossible.
Nasty right there.
I need mana. I need mana.
Aren't boots and belts worth picking up and IDing? I mean, you can stop and pick up everything if you really want to. Right? Like, it's kind of one of those, you just gotta eventually make a choice about how much stuff you're gonna pick up. And the thing with boots and belts is, if they're like rares, sure. But magics, I can just shop magics.
Is this the reason I just
And
found
get
a
really
room?
nice things, and we'll show that very soon. I think so, Nexus. Thank you for the sub. Congrats on the Burr rune. Now, I'm not saying that a subscription to Mr. Llama SC is going to get you a Burr rune. Another point Fireball, and we'll go more energy. Oh, hello. We'll just reset there. Archers. And this is one of the issues, I will say, with running just a staff, right? This is why we're looking forward to using that Ancient's Pledge. If I was in a hardcore, you can bet your butt I would already be using Ancient's Pledge. Right. Because right now, having those resistances improved, having just a little bit more is going to actually be really helpful for the character. So, you know, it's one of those, I don't need it right now. Exactly, it's softcore, I can play a little bit more risky, but if you really don't want to die, or you're playing hardcore, whatever it is, you're going to want to have, thank you, Jay. Appreciate that. You're going to want to have that shield. Right now, we're just playing for max damage, which is why we have the Leaf Staff. I'm just going to avoid Fanaticism Enchanted Archers. It just seems like something I don't care to fight.
Not enough mana.
Move.
Thanks, Ralu. And we can set a safety TP there as well if we would like. Energy Shield Sorceress can be viable, yes. And I think Energy Shield, ooh, a Shale Rune. I think energy shield is actually really nice, and just a quality 1-point wonder actually that you can also put more and more skills into. Yeah, so that allows us the option if we wanted to get a rhyme. I still would rather have the Ancient's Pledge personally. I'm just an Ancient's Pledge guy. I like the 43, 48 res as opposed to the 25 all res. But
I need mana.
kind of do what you want, you know. See if we can find this waypoint here.
Not enough mana.
The cannot be frozen is cool. However, you have to remember that cannot be frozen doesn't affect a caster, right? It does affect my movement speed. It doesn't affect my casting speed, though. So, and I teleport everywhere anyways. I'm like rarely walking. So to me, it's like, well, we could do it, but it's just kind of like meh, not near as important.
This place holds many secrets.
Now, the nice thing down here is we can use this for great leveling, right? So that's one of the beauties of the tower is on top of, and at level 30, we're going to put a point into Fire Mastery over Fireball. 30% fire is just really, really nice. That's a huge boost. You can see our fire damage went from 600 to 900. So massive, massive boost on damage right there. Yeah, getting those Fire Mastery points.
I can.
So make sure you don't skip that. Whenever you hit level 30 of any build on a sorceress like that, you want to get that mastery point. But yeah, so there's a lot of bosses down here. In normal, remember how I said you're only going to have that like one boss per level, sometimes two? Well, in Nightmare and Hell, you can have more, right? So a lot of times you run into 2 or 3 bosses on a level, and that just ends up working out really nicely. It's great for
17 months of
experience.
quality audio.
Great place to farm. And then, of course, at the end, you're going to be getting some nice boost as well, because you get the runes, which is going to do everything. So, overall, it's just fantastic. Redbeard, thank you very much. Archers are so nasty, man. So nasty. Oof.
Moo.
Ran my first Ubers last night.
Nice.
11/17 Pally. Still waiting on my llama sub beer rune to drop. Thanks for the content.
I'm sure it's right around the corner, Mark.
Moo.
Love the stream, man.
So now I imagine a point in Fireball is actually worth more. However, I do believe points in Fire Mastery will be worth more overall. Too late to start ladder launch? Yeah, no, I think it's totally fine. Start, have fun, enjoy, you know? And again, with Fire Enchanteds, I mean, you can stop and kill every single thing if you want. Or you can just run forward. Thanks, Rafisk. And Countess will not be fire immune unless she rolls magic immunity on top of her fire enchant as well, I believe. Maybe spectral hit. It'll also happen. Maybe. But we're level 31 now. So now this gives us that option right here of respecking. I would personally say I wouldn't respec at level 30. Level 1 Frozen Orb is usually meh. But level 2 Frozen Orb is when I usually like to start. And then additionally, we could get into the Hydras. So if you want to respec right now, you totally can. If you want to wait a tiny bit longer, you also totally can.
Excited to catch a stream finally.
I'm going to wait maybe like one more tower run.
Tied for years and years of YouTube voice content and streaming entertainment.
Well, it's the same voice, but thank you very much,
I
Bakes.
need mana.
Go ahead and just pick up a little bit of experience because honestly, this is doing just fine
I can't.
right here. And we have this experience shrine, so we do want to baby it a tiny bit. Just, you know, try not to get cursed if we can avoid it. That guy is cursed, so we'll keep him away. But see if we can pick up a couple boss groups while we're down here. Just to try and get a little bit more benefit out of it. Get him, Darcy. And that's cursed as well, and I did not avoid in time. Unfortunate. But we can still go ahead, run around, kill some bosses. And again, you can up the players count if you're feeling good about it. Feel free to increase the players count as well as you are playing through. Right now, I'm still going to stick on P1, but I might bump it up here soon enough. But we do have a lot of, you know, runes that we need to snag here. Or at least a decent amount of time, potentially, for runes. So. And we'll go to... See, you can see Fire Mastery is only 7% increase, but Fire Bolt is 14%. So it'll actually be better now to go into Fire Bolt. Hopefully we pick up the Am rune here and Soul. That would be perfect. Io instead, the hardest rune to find off the Countess. Wild. Okay, so at level 33, let's go ahead and
Mr.
respec.
Llama mod check.
So, we're going to go down into Hydra. So, point in Warmth, Firebolt, Fireball, Enchant. We can max Hydra, put a point in Fire Mastery. Remember, 1 point static, 1 point telekinesis, 1 point teleport. Even if you have that plus static from this or something, it doesn't matter anymore because we're going to be dropping our staff later, right? So remember to do that. 1 point frozen armor. And then we want to get down into frozen orb. So we have to put all those points there. Max frozen orb. And so now you can max cold mastery. And here's where you can take a look. And this is where I'm going to once again show this. I'll bloop. If you look at Hydra, 3% extra fire damage from the synergies right there. But this is going to be an extra 7% fire damage. So it makes more sense to put points into Fire Mastery in Hydra rather than into these synergies. Right. Just going to be an overall better boost. And we have skill points remaining, which is perfect because we can just save those right there. Now, I'm personally going to say Frozen Orb is my preferred choice of whatever I'm using. And then additionally here, I'm going to put some points into energy. I'm going to go to 55. I'm also going to go here and make sure I have 43 strength because I'm going to be using this crystal sword. That's the highest strength I need for it. Now, you could also go up to 45 if you have a nice like belt, maybe like a gold wrap or something. You could go to 60 if you've got, you know, some other nice things, 55, whatever it is. Note the gear that you have, whatever strength you need to use it. But, and additionally, if you have a broadsword, that'll be 48 strength, right? So make sure that you have that figured out. Nothing in dexterity, and the rest into vitality. And then speaking of, you know, looking at this stuff, like I was talking about before, you can use this to just really quickly buy like magic find gear. You can use it to go and buy res gear, faster run walk, right? Whatever you want. Oh, 23 fire res. I kind of prefer that over the cold res. I'm going to buy that. So very easy place to get some really nice boots and gloves. It's just doing char C over and over again. You can hold control when you're allocating stats there to do 5 at a time. You can hold shift to do all at a time. Be very careful with shift, but control is 5 at a time, which is very nice. Okay, so again, we will continue here, and now I'm going to have my frozen orb. And again, this is why I say, you know, okay, you could totally have kept your fireball here because fireball does perfectly well. Frozen orb really does take a tiny bit to get going. Additionally, we don't have any plus skills for it right now, so you have to remember that. And once you get those plus skills, it really starts to get a lot better. But we can really make sure to, you know, try and take advantage of both here. And have the Hydras and the orb, and, you know, there's definitely some more, like, safety brought in. Now, there are some things to note about using orb. The main orb itself has really good damage. All the little bolts around it, the damage is not quite as good. I feel like I'm actually on a higher players count. I'm not gonna lie. Because I've been gaining really good levels. And I don't feel like my damage was quite where it needed to be. Which would also maybe make sense why we died so quickly. Regardless, we level up and we go 1, 1, 1, 1. But yeah, so when aiming the frozen orb, you want to make sure to put the orb ball through the mobs and at the same time have it explode on the mobs. Yeah, it definitely was a higher player count because now you can see it's kind of doing much better work against stuff. And again, I was leveling very quickly, and the countess was dropping 1 rune at a time, which would help, you know, explain it. So you can always just check those things. And so you're just going to kind of alternate, right? Like I use Frozen Orb as my main, but whenever I have time, I can just set some Hydras down. And that's just a great little way to balance in between there. Ral Ort. Don't hate it. Gives us another Ort rune for that Lore Helm. Well, if the player's count is above 1, she drops only 1 rune a majority of the time. So that's why it's important to be players 1 when you kill Countess. So now, because we're, you know, already level 34, since I kind of had that like high players count earlier and didn't really realize it, it's totally okay to start just advancing forward a little bit more, not looking as much to find all the boss groups, instead just kind of fighting some stuff as it comes along the way. and then focusing on getting to the countess. Right. That also explains why that archer pack just obliterated me at the start. I was like, man, I mean, I know archers do good damage, but that was insanely big damage for only fire enchanted. Amryn! Beautiful. I'd say hammer's harder to aim than orb. Ooh, 39% light res. We will take it. And now we have Tal, Thol, Ort, Am with our crystal sword. Tal, Thol, Ort, Am. 26 FCR because always. At least we got 112 mana, I guess. That's unfortunate. Generally, you want to get at least 28. If you get 28, you have to remember that the next breakpoint for the Sorceress is 63. So if you can roll a 28, that plus the stealth is 25, 45, 53, and then you just need one piece of FCR gear somewhere else to get to 63. But if you roll under 28, then you need two pieces of FCR gear. So it removes the idea of being able to like wear one of these rings as a secondary ring, which is just, you know, slightly annoying. So we've got that. We've also got Ral, Ort, Tal. Perfect. So now we have our Ancient's Pledge, which gets our resistances, and you can see our res is a lot better right now. We're going to go Vitality. Those stats. And so now we just need Ort Soul. I actually needed that Ort as well, but I do have a couple Ral runes and a couple Tals and enough Iths, so I can actually cube 3 Iths to a Tal, 3 Tals to a Ral, 3 Rals to an Ort if I just have a Soul rune right now. And again, like I say, of the rune words, the Lore Helm is probably the least important because it is just kind of a +1 to all skills, whereas, you know, these actually are like +2 to skills and stuff. This is a ton of res, whatever. So if that's one you wish to skip, you totally can. Soul Rune's also a little bit harder to find. Kind of up to you. But the beauty, of course, of anything plus to skills on this build is that you are now in a dual spec. So every plus to skills point is improving the build doubly, essentially, because you have these two active skills. So, you know, for instance, if I was just a Frozen Orb source, I would just be getting the boost to Frozen Orb and Cold Mastery. And it doesn't affect synergies, because synergies are soft points and it has to be hard points, right, for a synergy to actually work there. But since I'm a dual spec, now it's actually super nice. Ooh, Thol rune. Shale Ral Thol. All of the Spectre types do. Just the ghost types. But yeah, so now a plus to skill gives me a boost to Frozen Orb, a boost to Cold Mastery, a boost to Static, a boost to Teleport, because Teleport now costs a little bit less mana. It gives a boost to the Frozen Armor, a little bit longer duration and everything, a boost to Warmth, a boost to Fire Mastery, and a boost to Hydra. So every plus skill point is actually worth a really good amount on this character. And, you know, like I say, it just kind of doubles the effect there of how important it is. And so I'm still going to kind of go around and kill stuff. I am level 35. So we can hold off if we would like. You can just say, I don't want to kill any more here. I want to go forward, or I just want to teleport right to the Countess and kill nothing along the way. All of those are valid answers right now. I'd say in the tower, you don't really, you know, you can level up to like 40. You can go higher if you're using all of the plus, like increasing the player count and stuff, you can boost it higher. But that's kind of up to you there. I would say, personally, I mean, you can go cold or fire as the main on this build. Wow, we got our soul rune. Perfect. And a rare ring as well. So now we'll do exactly what I said before, which is I need Ort rune, but I don't have Ort rune. Oh, actually, I have 3 Ral runes, so I don't need to do this whole song and dance. Ral, 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 Ort. Perfect. Ort. Soul. Lore. Gives us that +1 to skills. A little more energy. Some more light res. Mana per kill. All very nice. 10 FCR. 47 to mana on this ring. So it's... I wish it had like resistances or something. However, more mana is never a bad thing because all the teleporting, all the stuff that we're doing, it's actually really nice, right? So we appreciate always getting a little bit more mana from this sort of stuff. Great for Nightmare Act 1. And now, again, we have all of this. So now we're getting to this point where you can either start to focus or not. And what I mean by that is cold mastery, the way it functions is it's minus to enemy cold resistance, right? So it's actually like the best skill in the game when you are trying to improve your cold damage to a point. Because you have to remember that cold or that resistances go from -100 to +100, right? That's true for you. You can get dropped all the way to -100 and brought all the way up to +100 resistances. So when you are doing, fighting against a mob, let's say they have, 10 cold res, then minus 110% cold resistance is going to be the maximum that it'll do. If I have minus 200 to enemy cold res, all of those points in this skill above that'll bring them to -100 are absolutely worthless. So in that case, any of the points that would be in something like Frozen Orb or something are going to be more valuable. But you still have to kind of decide where it is exactly you want to get. Personally, I think, especially when you get to Hell, the best place to bring this is about minus 150 to enemy cold resistance. This, of course, is if you are PVM. That will cover 95+% of monsters and get them all down to that -100 so you can do all the damage that you want, which will be perfect. Now, of course, if you're mixing this with like Infinity or lower resistance as well, then it's going to be even different, right? So I made a Fireball Blizzard Sorceress, but I used Infinity on her, and it was great because then I only had to put 1 point into Cold Mastery. It was like -80 Cold Mastery, and then the Infinity did its minus, 63% or whatever it was, and that got it around, that 150 mark. So that made Cold Mastery 1 point, so I could invest more points into Blizzard and its synergies and Fireball and its synergies, and then of course it lowered the res of the fire. That's kind of very specific stuff, but like I say, a lot of mobs getting that like 150 is a great place to be in player vs monster. In PvP, like I say, you're probably just maxing this all the time. But at this point, like I say, the whole point of this is Meph has 75 cold res, so if you plan to do 9999 Meph runs, then minus 175 is best. Perfect. There you go. You can now start to say, okay, I want to invest, just into Cold Mastery and Frozen Orb for the next little bit, and then come back around and put more into Hydra later. This, of course, is where you can decide if you want to start focusing on one over the other. I'm going to go more into Hydra or more into Frozen Orb, and then I'll pick back up on the other one as I get more levels. And again, we're not really going to be diving into like all the synergies and stuff because we're going to be keeping our points still, in Frozen Orb and such, or in Hydra and the Masteries. So that is something to note as well, is it's not like you're never going to have the points there, you know. But just food for thought. I do like hockey. Just some food for thought of how you can want to do it, when you want to start putting skill points where, and again, if you want to focus more into Hydra or more into Frozen Orb, both are totally acceptable. I will say, I believe Frozen Orb will be a little bit easier to carry you through the game as a focus, as there are more fire immunes in the game than there are cold immunes when you get to Hell especially. So being able to take care of more of those and use Hydra as kind of the supplement is nice. However, max Hydras are really good damage, and maybe you're running around with lower res wand and you're able to break some of them, and it, you know, works out, whatever, and you can do a little bit, right? So also, Frozen Orb is really nice because it slows, which is actually super nice, right? You're freezing the mobs, and that's actually super helpful. As opposed to Hydra, where you kind of have to run around like a madman a little bit sometimes, I feel like. And just like try not to get hit while it kills stuff. So, you know, having a mercenary there, Holy Freeze especially, can be helpful in kind of slowing that down. But I like the orb right there. And again, the nice thing as well is if you do go with that like Hydra orb or the Holy Freeze mercenary, because you want to run a mercenary, you can actually still continue with this same idea of Frozen Orb, because those are separate things. So Holy Freeze does not actually freeze. I mean, it does, but it also slows. And that's the part that is the difference, is it's actually a slowing mechanic that cannot be frozen, can't prevent, and nothing in this game can prevent. That's why no matter what you have on, you'll always get slowed by Holy Freeze. That will stack with Frozen Orb as well. So you can have Frozen Orb plus Holy Freeze, and then everything around you really gets slowed. Now, why do I not have a mercenary right now? I don't feel like it. Okay, we'll go Frozen Orb, Frozen Mastery. I'm going to continue kind of bumping these up a little bit, and then Vitality. But again, feel free to do it however you would like. You can boost both or one if you would like. And then here, we'll go ahead and grab the waypoint. Yeah, that'd be good. Dope. You can still use the low one, and it's great. Because Nightmare and Dariel is... Once you get to the Nightmare bosses, the farming really starts to open up. Farming the normal bosses is pretty weak. But once you get to Nightmare, you can start to get that SOJ and stuff from, you know, killing Andariel, right? She's actually the best place to find SOJ. You can start to get some really nice things. And so it's a decent place to kind of look around for some of that gear if you want to start farming there. Personally, my favorite spot to start farming is Nightmare Mephisto. That's where a lot of stuff like Oculus really opens up. And Nightmare Mephisto's drop table really just is a big improvement. So I love him as my kind of farmer location for if I'm really looking for some gear. Additionally, you can always cheese him, which is the best part about it. And that just helps a ton, right? But you get your, you know, your Viper Magi, your SOJ, your Oculus, all those things start to really open up there, and even your like War Travs and stuff. And remember, you still do have static, so feel free to use static there. And Dariel does have bad fire resist as well, and I mean you can just power her down pretty easy. And there's our lore if we want it, and or if we want to make ourselves a mercenary with insight, we now have that option. However, we would just need to find a 4 open socket, right? So that would be the main piece. But how easy was that, you guys? I already have her, I know. Give yourselves the clap. How easy was that? I mean, this character is just gonna, you're just gonna be like, wow, I'm blowing through everything. And we have a lot of rejuves. So at this point, we can also start to cube these rejuves. You can do 3 rejuves at a time to cube them. And this can just be a nice way to kind of save them. And again, a lot of this is going to be for hell purposes. So I like having full rejuves because small rejuves are okay, but in hell, a lot of times that full rejuve is what actually saves you. So we'll move these, and perfect. Just kind of save some of those for later.
Good day.
Perfect. And again, you can always check, make sure your FCR. See here, you can see we're at 71. If we just had 2% more on that spirit sword, we would be at 73. Peasant crown or lore, both are decent. You can kind of make the decision either way. I like the mana per kill and the 30 light res that we get here, but there you're going to be getting what, vitality and stuff, so either one is they're very similar. How come I don't make more music? I'll probably try and release something by end of summer. I'm just busy. So many things to do. I gotta get Llama RPG made now, because I've been feeling that lately. How's new PC feeling? Great. I haven't even unpacked the maps or anything, and it feels like everything is already unpacked. I kind of want to go and do that whole unpacking thing and see if I can just eliminate load screens 100% completely with how fast this computer is. It's actually kind of wild. Will I stream how I code it? No, because I'm not coding it. I don't want to code it. I just want to design the whole thing and then give it to somebody to code. Say, make this. I think that's how it'll actually get done. If I have to code the whole thing, I don't think I'll make it through all of it. Interesting map. Jeez. What a terrible map. Perfect. Oof, not a fun one, Raf. Yeah, I just have a 3070 in here, but the new CPU and stuff, I've got the 12,900K. I think that's been a big boost. And faster RAM and everything. Yeah, the 12th gen is, I definitely can notice the speed on it. I think it's parts, maybe? I don't know. My case is so quiet. I don't hear my computer at all now. It's crazy. It's got so many fans, but it's just the quietest little thing ever. Yeah, the 3070 is still fantastic. I'm like not upset at all with it.
Strong magic within this space.
I got it maybe like a year ago. A little less actually, maybe 6 months.
Impossible.
It was very hard to come by any graphics cards, so I was ecstatic to have even that.
Move.
Llama S2.
Thanks, Popsicle. Wraparound map? Yeah.
I can't. Who would have thought that such primitive beings could cause
Again, Frozen Orb and Cold Mastery, because I'm focusing over there a little bit. And we'll continue here. Back to farming you go. Enjoy.
greetings?
Enjoy, Lord.
Good day.
It takes a little bit running solo to find that like Tal Ami and Tal Armor. But that's kind of one of the joys, in my opinion, of running solo. Online, it's just super easy to like get everything you need, but offline items like that just become so valuable, and when you find it, you poop your pants. It's so fun. Not the like pants, but the finding it part. Never mind.
No.
Here for that content, like and subscribe, my dudes.
Thank you, Conduit.
This place actually distorts reality. Fascinating.
First, what? Gosh dang it.
Move.
Wait, where did my llama badges go? Mr. Llama Wave.
Thank you, Paladin. Now these can be nice for, you know, finding some fun little items. If you want. Also, again, you can always go as fast or as slow as you want through any areas. So don't feel the need to go crazy speed through an area like this if you don't feel comfortable. Just take your time getting through. No worries. No worries at all. Okay, move. And remember, the glory of this build will definitely come later on
Diablo 2 rules.
as we start running into those cold and fire immunes way more often in Hell. Nightmare is... you can get popped in Nightmare, but generally Nightmare mobs are pretty weak in terms of like their HP. They don't really have those immunities yet. Your characters are starting to come online. So a lot of characters feel really strong in Nightmare.
I can't.
But then in Hell, they really drop off because all of a sudden you run into immunities and high health, and it's like, how do I kill any of this stuff? But this character is really nice in that she has the ability to kind of do that, right? Thank you, Man with Legend and Rari Gang. Frost Nova sometimes hurts, don't remind me. Okay, nothing good for any of that. Ral, Tier, Tal, Soul. If we find ourselves a 4 open socket, we can go ahead and get a Mercenary with an Insight, which could be a fun little venture. But we'll have to see if we can get that base. I've already used my socket quest on my Spirit, so I don't have anything. And again, I only have 28 cold res. You can drink some thawing potions if you want right here. I feel pretty safe going up against Ariel. We're very strong right now. And so, to me, I'm just not going to really get hit by him, and then we'll be fine. And again, I'm aiming to have my ball explode inside of him. The longer I can keep it in him, the more damage that it's going to do to him as well, right? But just like that, Act 2 is complete. Give yourselves the clap, everybody.
Escape to me. Next.
How easy was that? Super easy. Turn off screen shake. Yeah, where do I do that again? On the new computer, I had to re-download Diablo 2 and everything reset. So all my settings are messed up. Where's screen shake? Gameplay. Camera shake. There we go. Does this guide require a new PC? No, but I will admit this new PC has done well. Oh gosh, of you. All right. Get some gold. And let's go fight. Good job, Warren. Quick cast for Hydra. You could totally use quick cast here if you'd like. For 2 skills, I don't feel like quick cast is something I care much about. For more, like the Fire Druid, I actually did enjoy quick cast. And this Superior Partisan could also be something that you could like take a look at, right? It's very nice. But you would have to go and look up how many sockets does it get, and it probably will get too many sockets, right? So this is, let me show you guys. Oh, I don't have my bookmarks. Okay. So this will be good still, that's fine. So on the Diablo 2 wiki, you can go over here and it shows every item and how many sockets it gets based on if the item is 1 to 25, 26 to 40, or 41 plus. Okay, so I can go down to Partisan and see it gets 3 if it's too low, 4 if it's 26 to 40, whatever, and 5 if it's 41 plus. So 26 to 40 would be the perfect spot. So now I can go and look up the area levels, and we can go, of course, to Act 3, go to the Spider Forest. It's level 49, too high. Mobs there are going to be too high, and thus it will get 5 open sockets, which will not get us the 4 open socket base. Now, with a 5 open socket base, we could still make like an honor, right? We could still, you know, that would be a nice, easy one. Am-El Ith Tier Soul, 160 ED, 9 min, 9 max, Deadly Strike, some Lifesteal, blah, blah, blah. A very solid item. We could also make Obedience. Hell Ko Thol Eth Foul, so you need Ko and Foul Rune for it, but 370 ED, 40% Crushing Blow, an amazing weapon. So there are some items still that you could make from this, but just good to always go and check out those sorts of things to just look and say, do I want to try and use this or not, right? So that's what I'm always kind of doing, and the more that you do that, the more that you learn it and know it. So I knew immediately that that was going to get 5 open sockets because I know that the area level of Act 3, any area in Act 3 Nightmare is going to be too high, right? So you learn that stuff pretty quickly for where you should be kind of searching for different pieces of gear, blah, blah, blah. And it's just very helpful. And this is how you kind of build that little database in your mind of everything. This is probably dead-ended right here. Yeah. Just in case it did skip. So we don't have a skip. That's okay. Again, Frozen Orb and Cold Mastery, because I'm focusing that way. Kill some stuff. And then, of course, also make sure when you're making those rune words that you know what the rune word like base types can be. Can this go in a spear? Can this go in a polearm? Can it go in, you know, a sword? Can it go in any melee weapon? The more you learn that stuff, the better. So you don't try and make something like insight in a spear, which is impossible, but infinity can now be made in a spear. A lot of people got that confused now. I've noticed that as the most common, probably mixed up. They made infinity available in spears, and now everybody just finds a two-open sockets or a two-handed spear, and they're like, "Oh, perfect." Also, this is 2 to energy shield. I'm gonna get rid of that, and thunderstorm is all whatever. But that's something that maybe we could look at having for our offhand, as we do have a good amount of mana as well, and this could be a ton of tank ability. So I can actually do this and just have way more right there. And if you come over and look, it's 30% absorb. So just like an additional layer of defense. If I'm hardcore, that's a nice little way to save a few points while at the same time just getting a, you know, a little bit of energy shield right there to help out. Okay, and we'll go back, and now we've got all our points right here. And we'll go there. Okay, so let's do the flare dungeon. And with mana burn fixed now, having that point there is even better, as you're not going to instantly lose all of your mana in a single hit. So, like I say, just a great way to kind of have a little bit extra defense for essentially nothing. And then having the spirit shield, having that, you know, that ring that gives plus to mana, all that stuff, it just gets even more value. Perfect. Ami8888, thank you for that sub. I also like killing stuff in the Flare Jungle. This is a nice place to just get some more experience. Hey, Vidalas are nice. This could be one of those times you look and say, I do want more strength, right? You're like, oh, 30 faster run walk? That sounds really good to me. I would like that. For me, I'm going to say I'm okay because I can just go shop that at this point. But if this was, you know, back in normal somewhere, maybe I'd consider it more. And you might also say, you know, I'm a sorceress, I don't ever need to have any fast run walk. But I do think fast run walk actually does have a lot of value, even on sorceress, because when you do jump in next to some mobs, being able to run away and do whatever stuff there is really helpful. So I'm just going to put points into Frozen Orb right here, especially because I'm just in Hell, or I mean Nightmare. And I feel pretty good about my current minus cold res. But once we get that going a little bit further, we can change it if we would like. Again, you can always... there's definitely flexibility in this build and how you build it. So don't ever feel like you're required to build exactly in one specific way, you know. Okay, we'll go here. Ooh, hello.
Good day.
Didn't even say what killed me. I didn't see a doll next to me. Who knows? Don't ever fight dolls.
Move.
Let's reset.
11 month. GG.
On hardcore. So it's true. Also, I would 1000% be running a full line of rejuve potions if this was hardcore. Thanks, Nocturners. Dun, dun, dun. We have stat points. Might as well put them in vitality right now. Get a little more life. And let's go to Alcor. And more vitality. See what we can find down here. Perfect. Good day. I said good day. No, mercenary died. Diablo. Okay, so we've got all our pieces. Again, if you ever want to just spend more time killing stuff, honestly, plenty of great places to level up in Act 3, killing these bosses out here, doing Serena runs, running around the Flare jungle. A lot of places, even going into like these temples, there's bosses in there and stuff. All sorts of stuff, so. All kind of up to you. Hydra versus Hydra right now. Grab that, move that over. And you can actually telekinesis the orb, which is a fun little trick, just to make it a little bit easier on yourself. Another point in frozen orb. I'm gonna say that's it right there. Aww. Some weird behind map. Oop. Moving a little slow. Okay, now again, like I said before, if there was a place I would recommend really like starting to get into farming if you're feeling like you want to get some more stuff, it is around here. Would 1000% recommend finding this waypoint. Durance level 2, by the way, is a massive map, but you can find this waypoint and just do some Mephisto runs, man. Super, super good. And if your map is so long and far away and everything, you can also, of course, just reset the map. Go back to normal, go back to nightmare, and just rinse and repeat that. But yeah, a lot of times these maps are just gross. So, like I say, you can either dive in on Mephisto and just kill him if you would like, or you can do the cheesy strats, where you just stand right here and slowly let stuff whittle him down, especially if you've gone into Hydra. This will be even better. Since I'm more orb focused, makes more sense for me to fight him on top of him. Get my damage in that way. Thank you, White Star. Okay. And we kill him. We shout huzzah. And Act 4 is completed. Oh, I was hoping for something nice there. And Act 3 is completed. And like I say, this is where you can just save, quit, go back, go to Durance, and just do that 500 times and get yourself all the really nice stuff. Totally a viable option. I mean, I'd say Hydra is really good for farming them, but this also works. Like, you might just have to put yourself a little bit more in the fray. If you just want to do the cheese strats, Hydra, Blizzard, and Meteor are all really good for cheesing them. So, kind of up to you. Okay, Plains of Despair. Let's find Isual. Again, getting plus skills is really helpful for this character, as you are constantly going to be needing skills, since there's 4 skills that you really want to max, plus all the synergies and everything. So there's never really a time where you're not using like all these plus skills, like a smiter or something that only needs a few, you know. This also means, of course, you can go back at any point and do Radament in Act 2 for an easy +1 to skill there as well. Firewall also works. It's been nerfed some for sure, but it would still work for cheesing them. I like the Hydra personally more. I mean, Meteor is not bad right now as well, but I think Hydra is very easy for a lot of players, and that's why it's my recommendation. Meteor requires a little bit more skill for use. Okay, so here we can get those, and we'll just put them into Cold Mastery. And then we'll just go look for the City of the Danged waypoint here. Again, feel free. Ooh, we got the fun stained glass map. It's fun. Kind of rare. And just look for the waypoint and move forward. And like I was saying, again, you can move this as fast or as slow as you would like. Feel free to kill as much or as little as you want. Now, I do think doing the Nightmare Forge is actually not a bad idea, as there are a lot of runes that can drop from it. You can drop up to an rune, which is really nice. I mean, one, it's just a lot of resistances if you just want to use it as purely an rune for that. But additionally, you can use it for, I don't know, maybe like a duress for your mercenary or something. You can get yourself a lem for a treachery. You can get that foul or co for obedience. Like, there's a lot of runes that you can drop from here that can be useful for a mercenary or just whatever it is later on. So for that reason, I really do think doing Nightmare Forge is pretty good. And we'll just kind of chip away at him. Okay, so we need to make sure we get Mephisto's Soulstone. If you don't have it, you can talk to Cain and he'll give you another one. If he doesn't, it means you dropped it somewhere in like town or whatever. Go look around for it. We'll improve our belt to at least having more slots, which is nice. So look for Demonite sashes and Sharkskin belts. Those can be really nice, easy things to snag. Another point for us, more vitality. And let's go smack some dudes. Bam. Bam. And we get Pole Rune. Which, honestly, is probably the worst rune we could drop. It's a great rune for, like, if we wanted value. But it doesn't really do anything for this character, because now I need to find a Vex rune to make Hodo. Enlightenment, I guess, would be an idea if we wanted to lose the FCR. I mean, obviously the new Wisdom, though we can't make that here. So, Enlightenment is, you know, it is a rune word. Pull Rouse Soul in an armor, and we get 2 to source skills, 30 fire res. It's essentially all that it is, though the Blaze when struck is actually nice now because this is actually a lot of faster run walk. So that's actually kind of better. But 2 to source skills is very good. However, it would drop me down a breakpoint, which would be kind of annoying. I'm only at 26, 36, 46, so it would put me at the 37. Don't really have another good way, unless I found, you know, like some Trangs or Mage Fist or something. Then it would be really nice. I'd love it. But, you know, this is the sort of stuff in single player you get to actually consider. Like, nobody online is ever considering using a Pole Rune for Enlightenment, but in single player you're like, oh, I mean, I guess it is. I have Pole Rouse Soul, so I already have those. I would just need to find a 3 open socket armor, which I could just buy one from normal Charcy. Get a 3 open socket breastplate or Farah. So that wouldn't be bad. So a caster Ami would get us a little bit more, but again, we need a lot of FCR. So we would have to roll it really well. Roll some like 18 FCR caster Ami or something, you know. If we could have rolled that Spirit better, it would have been really nice. That would have been really nice. 20 FCR Circlet. Could try and imbue one of those. There's a lot of things that, you know, can get us to 63. The question is just, do we find one? You know? I think that's always the question. It's, what do you get? And in single player, that's the beauty, is you're always kind of just looking around to see what you can get. Oh, I found this, perfect, now I can do this. Oh, I crafted this, perfect, now I can do this. So you're just kind of always mixing and matching and adjusting based on that stuff, and I think that's really nice. Is this better than a Blitz Source overall? I mean, at beating the game solo, probably. At overall, like, magic finding stuff? No, you know, I mean, a lot of it just comes down to another point Frozen Orb, more vitality. Just get some statics and then back away. I would love to fight him off of the pillar or the star, just so my orbs can hit him a little easier, but it doesn't look like he wants to comply. So that's okay. There we go. And just like that, Act 4 completed. 1 to cold skills, 20 FCR. See, like this would be great if Spirit wasn't around. It is level 51. We also did get an Amethyst. So we can do an amulet crafting to see if we can just bink something amazing. And we have another flawless Amethyst right there that we can try and go for later. So let's go ahead and gamble an Ammy.
Give yourself the clap.
Perfect, 1 to life. And this is the fun of single player, in my opinion. Really just everything about it. So this is the crafting recipe right here. The level of the amulet is all that matters, and then your character level. Otherwise, the jewel level doesn't matter. Any jewel, a Row Rune, and a perfect amethyst. I mean, I don't hate that amulet. I don't hate it. 55 to life, 8 all res, 10 to mana. We didn't roll the big hit on the FCR that I was hoping for, so only getting 5 right there is a little sad. However, great life and resistances, and it also now puts us with 5% more FCR, gives us 76 FCR, which means we can lose 1 FCR ring if we would like for more resistances. So I'll go on this one, which has just a little bit more resistance, and we can save that for later. So, you know, it works us again towards another potential breakpoint towards that whatever thing, because we do have the ability of adding 10 more. So right now, of course, we're at 66. We can go to 76. If we take this off, we're at 41. And, you know, we still need a tiny bit more if we really wanted. We could also craft a caster belt to get us there if we do find something like Mage Fist or whatever it is. So I just changed fire res for fire res. Fire res for more fire res and a little bit of light res.
My magic will break the siege.
So I really don't like fighting a ton in the Bloody Foothills, especially with these archers. They're pretty miserable to fight. So I generally just want to kind of move past them. If you do want to go and do some like good leveling out here, players, I can go to like player 7 or something, and I can just go farm right here. Frigid Highlands, this is the easiest farming in the game for really good experience. Let's come over here and do Eldritch. You can watch my experience bar just fly every time one of these mobs dies. And this is an easy place to get some safe levels up. Again, you don't even have to do like that high player count or anything. You can just jump out, jump back in. Go to Frigid again. And like I'm level 44 and, you know, not even a third coming into this. And after clearing this, let's see where we end up, but like over half a level gained right there. Probably like 2/3 of a level, almost, yeah, more than 2/3 of a level. So just super easy to just rack up some quick quick experience. So that's an easy way to get yourself up to like 49 or 48, 45, 50, whatever you want to do. I mean, again, player 7 right there is huge. You can also save the barbs here for Ral or Tal in the event that you're like, hey, I need another Ort rune maybe or something, right? Right now I feel pretty good on my runes, but I always have that in the bag just for later. And I am just kind of looking around, and, you know, I'll go back and kill some bosses, and kind of up to you how much you want to kill once again while you're doing this versus how much you just want to continue forward. We'll go Frozen Orb, Frozen Orb. I like to get this waypoint here. I'm back on players 1, by the way. Teleporting around here at a high players count would be a little rough, but I mean, you can if you want. I like to get this waypoint here, though. It's a nice little safety checkpoint. And then, of course, you can have it near you, so then you can go and do your Anya Frozen River quest later. And do be careful down here. I would say if you get nasty spawns, and Claw Vipers are kind of not my favorite spawn at all. Gets a little gross. Additionally, now we're starting to see some cold immunes down here as well. So this is where having, you know, that Hydra is going to start being helpful. And we'll talk to Anya. Mastery prior. And then probably just a max orb. So we get that plus 10 all res, which is of course just super nice. And now we can continue. I also think at this point, I'm level 45, so at 49 is when I'll actually have Frozen Orb maxed. That's just when you can max a level 30 skill. So I can either take the time and level a lot down here, or level more later and then kind of figure out when I want to start buffing the other skills. Again, pretty soon here is when we'll need to start considering that we're going to Hell soon. If we are going to Hell soon, you might not be. You might just be sticking around, just hanging a Nightmare till level 70 or something. Plenty of people do that. I would almost recommend it. Just like I often recommend grabbing the Ancient's Waypoint, just as a safety precaution. And we'll just grab some potions really fast. Milk chocolate. And I usually just like to check and see if any of them are cold or fire immune. Obviously, if one of them spawns like cold or fire immune, well, fire immune right now I wouldn't care too much, but if one of them spawns cold immune and Nightmare, I would just reset it. There's a lot of spectral hits. They're going to have a little bit more resistances, but that'll be okay. Oh, hello. Okay. And so I'll go ahead and go Frozen Orb there again. But again, like I say, at this point, I think I can really start to consider pumping points into Hydra. Also, do be careful down here, as we will start running into these cold immunes. I also always recommend getting this waypoint. Souls on level 2 are never fun. Souls, snakes, sort of pretty gross spawn type there. Okay. So if you're running a counterclockwise direction, that's generally going to help you find waypoint first. Not guaranteed, but helpful. And again, kill as much as you would like, or as little as you would like. Down here, sometimes stopping to try and kill can be deadly if you stop in the wrong spot, so you do have to be a little careful. So I'm just going to go Frozen Orb until it's maxed. And then once we've maxed that...
Impossible.
Oh boy. Dolls. I'll leave the Cold Mastery where it is. Ouch. And I will jump into Hydra Orb. Or Hydras. And buffing that damage up. There's a Demon Hide Sash as well. Totally something that you could take to buff there, right? Imbue, what I meant to say. Words escape me. Okay, keep going there. Again, maybe I'll go to like players 3 for this next wave, because I'm feeling a little bit strong at the moment. Nice little experience boost. Wave 4 is usually a pretty good wave to get that little extra boost on. And we'll go down to players 1 right here. Oh, we probably could have stayed on P3 if we really wanted there. But waves are very easy here, honestly. Very, very easy.
Move.
Nice,
Spent my
Fremont.
21st birthday in Vegas.
GG. That's where I spent my 21st as well. With my parents. A unique amulet.
Last of the 3 has fallen.
We'll see what it is. But, I mean, just like that, you have absolutely crushed. Hey, I have Etlich. Well, the +1 to all skills probably wins out for me. I mean, this is lovely. And on hardcore, I maybe continue this, but more plus skills on this build. I like it. We'll continue there. We'll finish that maxed out. Save that.
Yay, give yourself the clap.
And I mean, give yourselves the clap. Now, let's do a couple things just to have a little bit of fun right here. Firstly, let's go find the waypoint. Out here. Okay. I mean, that was easy, guys. Nightmare Cruise and easy. Now, at this point, there's a couple things. Number one, I'm gonna look for a gem shrine. In the process of looking for this gem shrine, I'm gonna go to the stony field. I need to go back to my FCR ring that I had before to get up to there. And I'm going to make sure I have flawless amethyst, at least one, in my inventory and no other gems. I'm just going to run by and just do a quick little check on all of these shrines. And there you go. Just like that. Super easy to get ourselves a gem shrine, as this is where they are most popular. Additionally, we can still go and do like players 7, players 8, whatever stuff for just killing bad boys up here, get ourselves more experience. Never been a giant Splendor fan. And we can, of course, go back to some throne room shenanigans and do some more leveling up. If we would like. Kill some bosses on the way. Why not? Get that EXP. And now that I've maxed that, like I said, I could go into more cold mastery, or I can start bumping up Hydra. And I'm going to start bumping up Hydra, as I do want to have Hydras for later. So I would not recommend going to Hell at level 49 or 50. Can you do it? Yes. 1000% yes. I do it all the time in speedrunning. It's fine. Do I think you're gonna want to do it? No. Unless you really want to focus on just being that cold damage, running around, only killing stuff that's cold for a while, and leaving the fire stuff for much later once you've leveled up in Nightmare, or in Hell. Which is totally fine. I mean, you can run around just like Act 1 Hell and just level up there. Like that totally is fine. Also at this point I do think you can also, you know, increase player counts as well. We'll go to players 5 right here for this next wave. Feel free to drop a couple statics on the group if you'd like. You can always drop a safety TP, but big experience when you can kill these waves at higher levels or higher player counts. I mean, you can see that was almost an entire level we just gained. And we can bump up Hydra again and more vitality. I'll go to players 3 for wave 5 here. And just playing around, just figuring out what feels good, how I want to level. I would say Blizz Hydra is probably a little bit harder to push, but still viable. And you can just rinse and repeat, man. Now, why did I go do that gem shrine farming is probably what some of you guys are wondering. You're like, oh, we're gonna, you know, improve our, try another amulet. And we could, but I'm actually gonna go for a belt. Though I do need to find a jewel. So if I want to find a jewel, the best place would probably be just going players 8, players 7 out here. And just popping all the poppables.
It's locked.
Great place for finding things like this. We'll also make sure that we have keys. Great place for finding charms, runes, and there's a jewel already. I mean, it's so good. Also a good place to find bases. This is where you can find, you know, that base for the insight or something. And defense, stamina, strength, 1 to pally skills, blah, blah, blah. So that Ithrin is actually also nice because we do need an Ithrin for this. And this is the crafting recipe for a caster belt, which didn't really roll a lot, unfortunately, for us. But we do get 6% FCR still. And of course, if we take a look at our FCR, that puts us at 77, which means we can once again swap out that ring that we had right there. And we get a little bit more mana and everything, so it's not terrible by any means, right? Let's go to players 8 here. So, you know, I'd love to roll that with life and res and all that stuff, but even just getting a little bit of FCR is nice. We have 5% more that we can get from that other amulet we have as well. So again, just gives us more stuff that we can look at using in the future. And I'll continue boosting up Hydra right now. I can make the armor, but I'd still be down a breakpoint if I did. Another jewel. And I'm just on players 8 now as I'm feeling daring. These Death Lords will be a little bit gross on P8, but workable. 38 to mana, not a bad Grand Charm. And yeah, we can run that ES again as well to give us way more life again. So we're starting at level like 52.5 coming into this, and we'll see where we end up at the end of it. More vitality. Thank you, Chop. Just go get potion refill really fast. More Hydra, more vitality. $24 Raft. You can be 25 though, it's fine. But you just want to get to 25. And players 8 again will take a little bit longer for killing, but again, we started this Baal wave at level 52.5. We're already 54.5 after the first 3 waves. So there is a lot of experience to be gained.
You are willing to be a little patient and a little risque. And again, at level 54, with all of these like plus skills and my resistances max on fire, light, and stuff, I feel, you know, pretty decent. Another point in Hydra, more points Vitality. And again, more points right now into Cold Mastery would improve this leveling slightly. So, you know, maybe you do that and then you respec later. I mean, that can be a decision as well, right? You really get kind of a lot of choice in how you do it. And then you could, again, go farm up instead with like more just Frozen Orb, Cold Mastery, really get yourself some levels, and then shift over into getting more of the Hydra stuff after. Totally up to you, but we've already gained over 3 levels. And we still have these 5 minions to kill. Come on. Another level. So this ends up being from 52 to 56 and some change. 56.2. Like 3.7 levels or something. Crazy. And that's just from a single playthrough. A single wave. Or set of waves. Baal run. So you can easily farm out here and, you know, like I say, come up here and kill this. You can go do those Baal waves a few times, whatever. Very easy to farm your character. I usually don't like to waste time killing Baal, but you can drop it down to like players 1 and go kill him. That does work out. And these guys are, so this is players 8, and I spawn these Hell Witches. If you're unable to kill the Hell Witches because they're cold immune and you spawn them too high, then just reset. Because our Hydras are decent though, we'll be able to kill them. So this is one reason I do like buffing the Hydras a little bit. Yeah, and we could also grab a lower resist wand if we wanted to speed this up even more. If your opponent has an up killer, then sure. If you do, I don't believe so. Ooh, a mage plate. 3 open socket? Ah, 2 open socket. Darn. So if you wanted to find one of those, what you can do, my favorite place is to go to Drognin. Especially with this kind of map, where it exits to the top right. We could make a smoke with Nephilim right there for sure.
Welcome back, Street.
And you can just look at wands right here.
Not in town.
Go out, come back in, and just look for a wand with low resist charges. Not low resist the skill. Plus low resist charges. And this can just be a really nice, easy thing to have on your swap, which can be very useful all through normal, nightmare and hell. Both are really good. So because we're doing cold and fire damage, it'll have that kind of double boost for us. It can sometimes break immunities here and there. Won't break too many cold immunes, but every now and then. And it can break fire immunes as well, which is really nice. Now, it's easier to shop this at level like 34 or whatever. And there's one right there. Low resist charges, you can see. And this is a great thing to have on that swap. We'll put this away for right now. And we can set this right here. So this can just be super nice and easy for, okay, say, when a wave drops in, you just drop a lower resist on him. Super helpful. Thank you, Shard. And again, lower resist. Just helps speed up the waves a little bit. Another point in Hydra. More points in Vitality. And nice and easy kill right there.
Bezos pesos for you.
Thanks, Rizzles. Cast a low res here as well. Icy Veins guides have breakpoints on them, yes. Exclamation mark guides. Probably zombie. Where'd the experience go? I mean, we've already gained over 2 levels. So, I'd say it's still here. Another point in Hydra. More Vitality. And, again, lower resist. You can always cast it again if you want to reapply. Ready to speed run with map pack? I don't think so. All rune. And again, 3 levels gained. Over 3 levels gained. Just from this. 3.2 levels almost gained. So you can do this again. And again. And you can do this as much as you would like. Like I say, a lot of people love to go up to... we'll do players 1 baal. A lot of people like to go up to like level 70, 75, 76 you see people do. Just a nightmare. I personally don't care to go that high, but do however you feel most comfortable. And you're good to go, man. I mean, like I say, you really can just enjoy, do whatever you want. Now, I also do want to, again, go and show the idea of shopping some stuff. You can come right here and you can just look for some really nice like boots and gloves. So again, you can look for nice boots, gloves. And this is a great place to just farm a little bit. Get yourself some really good resistances or whatever it is that you're feeling there. For sure, toxic. Here's a demonite sash there if you want that. Fire res 21. I've got 23%. Good to note. And you can really just prep yourself for hell. Right. There's also nice plus to life stuff there. I'd love to get some boots that were just like faster run walk and resistances. That would be a really nice boot. And this is going to be the fastest guy to really kind of get yourself the, there's 30 faster run walks. Get yourself that slight boost there. For some nice things. I'm also looking for another shark skin belt, as I wouldn't mind trying one more time. See what we can get. 40 faster run walks. I'll go ahead and buy those. To me, that's worth a little bit more than 20 res. Just being able to really be faster in my running. And so we can look around for something that's like 30 fast run walk and nice res. Some gloves with really big resistances. There's whatever, blah, blah, blah. And a shark skin belt. Can also be looked for and bought. As again, that is what we have to use for that crafter belt, right? So, oops. Sturdy shark skin belt, perfect. So we do that, we go back and we do the stony field trick again. And this is all stuff you can just do as much or as little as you want. Again, this is my favorite part about this game, about single player, is just spending the time to go and find those small little increases, you know? Getting yourself that shrine to get you a better crafted belt or whatever, trying to, you know, get ourselves up to using enlightenment. Whatever it may be. When do you start collecting magic find gear? You could be doing that all along the way, right? You can be collecting all these topaz and different magic find boots and gloves that you find. And just using those 100%. Nice, Bob. So it's fun to take this time and really look around and do all this stuff. And again, you know, I'll go through her gear and stuff and sign off soon. I just want to find this one gem shrine if we can, and then we'll do the sign off for this. Feel free to, of course, keep leveling, keep doing you know, whatever it is that you're doing, having fun, getting more items, magic finding Mephisto, Baal waves, blah, 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 blah. Wow, really unlucky. So many monster exploding poison shrines, all that. Just not rolling it. Let's go ahead and get potions really fast. Another portal shrine. Yeah, we're getting super unlucky with these shrines. No. And you can look around more in Cold Plains. You can look around, I guess Darkwood, Black Marsh would be better. Monster shrines will turn the nearest mob into a unique monster. Usually with 4 shrines like this, you have a better chance here. But, happens. Sometimes they just keep rolling monster shrines and exploding shrines and poison and not. They refuse to roll gem. Brutal. It's coming soon. I can feel it. Nova Source? Probably like Nova Hydra or Nova Orb are the two.
Moo.
Half a year. Life has flown by. I just found out I'm going to be a dad.
Aww.
Also, since following at MR Llama SC, I have found a beer room, a HOZ, and Shaco on ladder.
Nice.
The theories must be true.
I'm not saying they're true though. But GG, congrats. Ay, ay, ay. Portal Shrine. Yeah, we could have just done like Nightmare Cows and probably found enough Flawless Amethyst by now. One of those, if you get lucky or unlucky out here. I don't think Eldritch would have got us to Flawless Amethyst by now, but oh my gosh, in the Fire Shrine. Randy!
Mr. Llama Love.
Easy. Thank you both. They do, but I don't think it'd be faster than this still. Again, this has just been a very unlucky, very unlucky round. Jeez, man. Poor YouTube. They're like, I just want you to end the video. It'll happen soon. Give up? Never! Perfect. So we got ourselves our perfect amethyst. Amethyst, the belt, the Ithrune, and the jewel. And a little bit better. The chance for Frost Nova is actually nice. 6% FCR again. 9 life, 13 mana, so a little less mana. But we get 18 light res out of it as well. So I actually like that a little bit more. Definitely a little nicer. And we'll get rid of that one right there. And just again, you know, you can keep looking around. So tons of stuff that we can do. Let's take a look at our final gear here. We have a spirit, a lore. We found this Eye of Etlich that was nice. Ancient's Pledge, 40 faster run walks, dual res, FCR belt with some res, FCR ring with some mana, fire res, mana, life, and cold res right there. And then I have a lower res wand on swap. And I also have this energy shield for swap as well if I want to use that for swapping. And then plenty of just random stuff, 10 FCR, 20 fire res, whatever stuff. A really nice amulet if we ever want to shift back into this, blah, blah, blah. You know, all sorts of things that we can use along the way just to help out the character a little bit. I also like to keep the leaf just in case. You can have it if you want to throw it on like your swap for a little bit better Hydras or something, but that's kind of up to you. Whatever you want to do is right up to you there. So that is part Nightmare. I'm level 59. Again, this is 59 in, oh, go there. In Hell, we can jump over and see what it looks like. Here's my resistances. Really not bad. Our cold res is a little low, but that's one that I'm okay with being a little bit more low. Because, of course, whenever you want, you can just buy a bunch of these and drink these. And it gives you an additional 50 cold res for 30 seconds every time you drink one. So now all my resistances are at least teens or better, which is great. And that's just super nice. And again, we can always work to improve our resistances even more. I can boost my fire res by swapping that 10 FCR ring here
stack.
and doing that. We could, you know, try and get more res on like a belt or something. We could use these boots that we have for 20 more resistance in lieu of the 40 faster run walk, yada, yada, yada. So you can always kind of do stuff. Even like this amulet is +1 to all skills, whereas this amulet is 8 to all resistances. And 55 to life. So, you know, that amulet is really nice and might be something decent to use. Especially if it was hardcore, I would 100% use that. Here's our current skill build at level 59. 19 Hydra, 9 Fire right there. And we're 24-16 over here. So I'm just going to keep boosting up this Hydra, getting this Hydra damage going further. And then we can look at Fire Mastery, Cold Mastery, and figure how we want to kind of do it there a little bit later. But that'll be for part Hell. I will see you guys there. Thank you all for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, YouTube. Peace.